Since becoming the #1 team in the country 3 weeks ago, the men's ice hockey team has survived thanks to some crazy comebacks and late-game heroics. Would their string of luck run out this past weekend?
And on the hardwood, Andrew, one of the hottest mid-major teams in the country. Trisha Fabry has her women's basketball team rolling. The win streak is now up to 7. We'll have a special guest in the studio.
And Morey, America's favorite bench, pays a visit to Hamden to take on the Bobcats.
And our executive producer, Victoria Rutigliano's favorite part of the show, we'll also see her later, the top 5 plays of the week. We're happy to be back. We hope you are too. Sports Paws starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Sports Paws of the second semester. I'm Andrew Badillo.
And I'm Morey Hershgordon. Quinnipiac has the hottest college athletic team in the nation, Rand Pecknold's men's ice hockey team.
Right you are, Morey. The Bobcats are the #1 team in the country and have only lost 1 game all season. Let's take a look at some of the bigger headlines that occurred over break. Travis St. Denis became the 38th player in program history to tally 100 points. The senior forward reached a milestone in the Bobcats' 5-0 win over Union January 7th. Electric was one word to describe Quinnipiac's 5-4 victory over Harvard in the rivalry on ice game at Madison Square Garden. Derek Smith fired home the overtime winner after a back-and-forth contest.
And as playoff time approaches, the nation now eyes the pairwise rankings, not just the USCHO.com poll. The pairwise is a statistical tool combining teams' RPI, the record against common opponents, as well as head-to-head competition to determine the 16 at-large bids to the NCAA tournament. Quinnipiac, St. Cloud State, North Dakota, Michigan, and Harvard are at the top 5 of this week. Other ECAC teams include Yale, Rensselaer, Dartmouth, and Cornell.
All right, Morey, we're going to jump on ahead to Quinnipiac this weekend. They took on Dartmouth. And Morey, we're going to go right into the third period where all the good stuff happens. Dartmouth at this point has a 2-goal lead. Quinnipiac's going to fall asleep here in the neutral zone. And John Ernsting's going to be wide open. And he's going to put home his first career goal past Michael Gartig there. Big goal for Dartmouth, 3-goal lead. He's going to get a little souvenir there. Quinnipiac would cut the lead to 2 here, but Dartmouth would get it right back. Goal right past Michael Gartig, and you'll see on the replay here, it doesn't seem like he picks it up. Might have been through a screen, Morey. But for the Bobcats, they're down 3 goals again, but it's been the mantra for this team all year. Coming back, Devontae's right back at you, 2-goal lead there. Morey, it's just been a common theme all year.
As long as there's time on the clock, they have time to score.
Yeah, and here you're going to see it. Sam Annis, he has done it all this year. Backhander through traffic, past goaltender Charles Grant, cuts the lead to 1. Quinnipiac roaring back in this game, much like they did against Maine and RPI earlier this year.
Cherish Sam Annis while you can.
And here you go. They're going to tie the game right back. It's your boy Sam Annis. Nets it again. Tie game in 3 minutes. Dartmouth's lead disappears. You're going to see on the replay here. Tic-tac-toe on the power play past Grant. And wouldn't you know it, Quinnipiac would eventually take the lead right here. Bo Pieper tips it in. Quinnipiac would add another empty netter. They win 7-5.
We are now joined live in the studio with Victoria Rutigliano, one of the executive producers of the show tonight, also a men's ice hockey beat reporter. Victoria, you've done a tremendous job this year. The men's ice hockey team has also done a tremendous job this year. Describe their quick start and why this team has been so successful.
This team has a lot of grit and they have a lot of heart, and you just saw it in that game. They came down from 4-1, then they came down from 5-2. That you can't see that from every team. I know that when you're an athlete and you play sports and you're down like that, a lot of teams could give up, and you didn't see that from this team. You saw them come back and come back again, and you saw that again against RPI and against UMaine. So with a team that can never give up like that, you're gonna see successes come along their way. They also have players like Travis St. Denis and Sam Annis on the first line who are scoring goal after goal after goal. And Tim Clifton, another player on the fourth line who comes in also to play. So when you have a first line and another line that can score goals, you're going to get more success, you're going to score more goals. They also have success on face-offs. During the power play, when they get face-off wins, immediately they score goals. There were 2 of those in the game against Dartmouth. So when you score those, when you're able to get the face-offs, you're gonna score the goals.
All right, Victoria, you named a few players there, Sam Annis and Travis St. Denis, but in your opinion, who is the most important player to this team's success?
This season, it's definitely been Michael Gartig. I mean, he's a Hobie Baker nominee. He has a .933 save percentage. He's third in the nation in goals against average with a 1.62. He's confident in net, and because he's confident in net, the other players can be confident in front of them. They can try things up front. They can sit back a little because they're confident that they have a goaltender who, if one player loses the puck, if they have players losing them, you have someone else who can jump in and save their team going into the game. So it's really important to have a player like that in net.
Michael Gartig is definitely giving Quinnipiac an opportunity to win every single time out. Now let's flip the script, Victoria. Why has this team started these games so slow? Why are they facing these deficits early in the third period?
To me, they've come out a little bit lackadaisical. They're not playing the biggest teams in the NCAA, so they're coming in maybe a little too overconfident, thinking, we're going to win this game anyways. On the flip side, they're playing teams who know they're number one in the country, so they're going to come out and play the best game that they've played all season because they know people are watching and people are looking to see how they're playing against Quinnipiac. So it kind of comes from both sides. But they're struggling not to get points against some of the better teams, which could hurt them going down when they're playing better teams.
All right, Victoria, so they've fallen behind in a few games and have had to rely on crazy comebacks. Again, as we saw in the Dartmouth game, Maine, RPI. What do they need to do going forward to avoid those and finish the regular season strong?
One thing they definitely need to avoid is the amount of penalties they've been getting. They average about 5 penalties per game, and against UMaine especially, they had 9 penalties. That's not something you want from your team when you continually have to be a man down over and over again. They also had a penalty against RPI in overtime, and when you get a penalty in overtime, you're no longer playing to win, you're playing to tie. So that's something that they need to work on. If they're continuing to get penalties like that, they're not going to be able to find success against bigger name teams in the tournament if they play teams like St. Cloud and Michigan, who are top-ranked teams on the power play.
Victoria Rutigliano, always have the latest. Thanks, Victoria.
Thanks.
Now let's transition to the women's ice hockey team, a team that is also close to number 1. They sit at number 4, a road weekend as well, this time 2 games. Friday night at Harvard was the first one. Quinnipiac in first place, looking to extend its lead in the conference. Early on, though, Emance Mashmeyer, the goalie for Harvard, with a good kick save there. Quinnipiac, though, later on in the first period, Kristen Tamberg will fire one on net. Melissa Samaskevich, the freshman, her 12th goal of the season, gives the blue and gold a 1-0 lead heading into the second period. Now Harvard on the attack. Pickard on the left side. Sydney Rossman, though, has been tremendous in the last 2 months for this team. A great glove-handed save there. A little later in the second period, TT Cianfrano tries to go to the backhand. Another great save by Mashmeyer to keep it at 1-0. Andrew, this game back and forth all day long. Tough to put the puck in the net. Samaskevich puts her stick on one there. Mashmeyer near post save. Woods tries to retain the puck in the offensive zone. We head to the third period, still 1-0. Harvard past the blue line, will try to score this time, and Sydney Rossman comes out of the crease, cuts down the angle, makes a tremendous save.
Yeah, Morey, she's been the difference maker for this team so far this year, especially in this game.
And late in the game, Harvard tries to tie it up. Another glove hand save, and number 34 does it. Her 12th shutout, a nation leader in shutouts for the year. Quinnipiac takes it 1-0.
All right, Morey. Well, the women's ice hockey team again was back in action on Saturday against Dartmouth. Let's take it right to the first period. Lindsay Allen for Dartmouth is going to pick Taylor Cianfrano's pocket here and fire one on goal, but Sydney Rossman answers the call there, 0-0 as we head into the second period. Here we're going to have a bit of a scrum in the back of the net. The goalie for Dartmouth gets knocked out of her net, and she's not able to recover as Emma Woods is going to receive a pass and put it in the empty net. Quinnipiac up 1-0. Moving along now, Dartmouth is going to have a short-handed breakaway opportunity, but Rossman makes the initial save and rebounds there to make another save. Quinnipiac clears the puck, no harm done there. Moving on to the third period, she did it against Harvard, and she's going to do it again here. Melissa Samaskevich drives in, fires one past Dartmouth's goalie through her legs for the goal. Quinnipiac up 2-0. Here you see it on the replay. Nicely done by Samo there. And here Dartmouth is going to get on the board, but they would go on to lose to Quinnipiac 2-1.
With after 2 wins this weekend, the women's ice hockey team's unbeaten streak is now at 20 games, Andrew. So where does that put the Bobcats? Let's find out. Cassandra Turner's squad is 4th in this week's women's pairwise rankings. They are also 4th in the USCHO.com poll rankings. Ahead of them are Boston College, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Right behind Quinnipiac is Clarkson, Northeastern, Princeton, and Bemidji State, 5 through 8. The other ECAC foes are Harvard and Clarkson at 10 and 11 respectively. But Andrew, we know in the women's, only 8 teams make the NCAA tournament. Well, she's won 2 consecutive MAC Rookie of the Week awards. Aryn McClure joins us live in studio.
And Morey, Tom Moore's men's basketball team has been in a disarray of late as they have lost 5 straight conference games. Would they be able to break the streak this weekend? We'll tell you after the break.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike's sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Championship Sunday last week was all about dabbing and defeating Brady. But for one Quinnipiac team, it meant a 42-point win. The Quinnipiac women's basketball team tied a program record for largest margin of victory in a dismantling of first place Siena, 94-52. Quinnipiac then hosted Monmouth in the first part of a doubleheader. Let's get to the highlight on that one. Quinnipiac coming in riding a 6-game winning streak. Trisha Fabry always has her squad ready for February, Andrew. The team went 23-0 in conference last year. They're rolling again. Early in the first half, Paula Stroutman, keep that name in the back of your mind. Here, she great double team on the baseline, forces the turnover, then gets the steal, leads to Maria Napolitano on the break, dish to Morgan Mans, timeout Monmouth. Quinnipiac up 22-7 after the first quarter. Then the second and third quarter, Andrew, was all about Adelie Martucci. The junior red shirt had 12 points off the pine. She was one of the few returners from last year's team to come back and play this year. She hits a 3-ball in the corner. She takes it down on the baseline. She really showed all of her ability. Here she takes the pass from Brittany Martin, drives right side off glass. Quinnipiac would go up as many as 25 points in the first half. She doesn't even have to put the ball on the floor. All cotton on that one, compliments of Sarah Schuin. And then in a 1-4 isolation set, the freshman Aryn McClure skip pass. That looked like a little bit of Nikolai Ostergaard on that one. Martucci with a 3-ball in the corner. Quinnipiac rolling into the fourth quarter. And then Stroutman, a little reverse. Her first career double-double, and actually today named the MAC Rookie of the Week. So Quinnipiac has the last 3 weeks a MAC Rookie of the Week. And then a great moment there, senior walk-on Shahara Ingram with her first career bucket, 85-58, Mountain McGilvery postgame.
Been hot lately, inside and out. The team is passing the ball. It's more familiar to what you were accustomed to last year. We're really sharing the ball because every player on the team right now is looking to score when they get it, becoming a threat, and because the defense has to respect so many different players that they're a threat offensively, the open pass keeps happening and we keep making that extra pass to find the open player.
Another Q30 Sports beat reporter on the women's basketball side joins us. John Franklin is with two-time defending MAC Rookie of the Week, Aryn McClure. John, how are you?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Aryn McClure. Aryn, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Now, Aryn, it's been a long season so far. You're in the throes of conference play. One big thing we've noticed is that you're the highest recruit in Quinnipiac women's basketball history. How have you handled that recognition?
I didn't know about that until I came here. It's good to be honored as that, but there's many people, a lot of players in my class, like Paul and Dell and Beamer, who are, just as talented or even more.
Now, how have you handled the transition, both on and off the court, coming to college?
I would say the transition it's difficult still, but I'm more comfortable with it now. At the beginning of the season, it was very hard because high school play is kind of slower than college. College is more faster, and like every possession counts in college ball. But I'm more comfortable with it now.
Now, the earlier part of the season, the team was struggling, looking to find maybe a sense of leadership or a change. What do you think's been that change?
I would just say our team dynamic. We're all more comfortable playing with each other now. We have a more. We each know what each other can bring to the table and how we can play with each other now. Before it was more. We didn't really know each other. Well, for like us freshmen coming in, but now I feel like there's more team unity and we're all confident in each of our individual play.
Now, from the beginning of the year, has there been a switch in the game plan?
As in the coaching staff, or?
Your guys' ability to handle plays and from the coaching staff.
Yeah, we switch our game plan every game, or depending on what team we face, we do have a different game plan.
What do you think has been the biggest change as far as a game in the season?
The biggest change, I would say, knowing our defense, reading scout and understanding how we're going to play each team we come across. That's our biggest change, being a defensive team this year. Like, our biggest change has stepped away from being more offensive and more defensive this year, I would say.
Now, one thing that I noticed was that there was a big switch going into the second half of the Florida Gulf Coast game. Could you go over that a little bit?
Yes, Florida Gulf Coast game. We were just trying to be more, I would say, have more confidence in our play. We were just coming off a few losses, and we knew we had to just pick it up and, kind of go out for this win at Florida Gulf Coast.
And you've been having a great freshman campaign. What more can we expect from Aryn McClure?
Just be playing hard every game and, being a good teammate.
Thanks, Aryn. It's great having you here. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, John. We're going to switch on over to the men's basketball team as they took on, I said it earlier in the show, America's favorite bench, the Monmouth Benches in Hamden Morey. Everyone got crazy for that game. First possession of the game, Monmouth. Well, first we're going to go to the team huddle. I jumped the gun there. I was so excited. Monmouth would go on an 8-0 run to start the game, 2-0 right there. Chris Brady right here, some nice post moves, some nice moves in the post shimmies. Donovan Smith adds another 2 for them right there. Quinnipiac would finally get on the board, cut the 8-0 run. Danny Harris with the 3 right there, splash. Here we go. Gio McLean would have an opportunity. Dimitri Flores put back. Chase Daniels tries the offensive rebound, no good. Monmouth comes down the other end of the court. And they're gonna do a little bit of what Quinnipiac is known for, offensive rebounds. Chris Brady with the putback right there. We're gonna go ahead. Aaron Hutton's gonna nail a 3-pointer at the end of the second half. At this point, Quinnipiac would be down 7. A nice little run at the beginning of the half. James Ford's gonna nail a 3 there, cut the deficit, but it would quickly go in Monmouth's favor. Justin Robinson, ridiculous ankle right there.
Player of the year.
Donovan Smith, emphatic block right there. At the other end, he's gonna put one in right here on the nice dunk. But for Quinnipiac, it was just a little too late right here. Chase Daniels missed opportunity. And you're gonna see it again. Aaron Hutton's gonna miss a few free throws right here. Doink, doink, and that would be Quinnipiac. That would be it for Quinnipiac, 66-51 Monmouth.
But a disappointing offensive performance, obviously, by us. A lot of credit goes to Monmouth's defense. They played, I thought, really good defense early and through the middle parts of the game. They did a really nice job of switching screens 1 through 4.
Thursday night was Quinnipiac's 5th straight MAC loss. We compiled a few telling stats about its season so far. take a look. Quinnipiac statistics are 3 out of 351 teams. As you see, 317th in points per game, 346th in field goal percentage, 313th in free throw percentage. Andrew, there's also a few in the bottom part of the nation in steals per game and turnovers per game. Just not a good sight for the Quinnipiac men's basketball team. But now they had another game, so let's kick it to that highlight. That one was against the Niagara Purple Eagles on Saturday afternoon. Again, TD Bank Center, Lender Court, same location, different team. What about the result? Niagara, first play of the game, inside. Not a good sight for Tom Moore's team. Giovanni McLean, though, later in the first half, off the ball screen, kick out. He drew the defense well. Danny Harris, his first 3 of the game. I'm going to be coming back to him in just a minute. Aaron Hutton, a nice feed to Alan Chigo. Rare playing time for the junior. Donovan Smith gets it that time, puts it in. It was all the headband that time. He didn't wear the headband against Monmouth on Thursday night. And Saturday afternoon, he puts in a great game. Giovanni McLean, though, a step back tray. Cotton, Quinnipiac, down just 2 late in the first half. And then a little momentum change. Aaron Hutton, the sophomore guard, off the bench. 5 assists to 1 turnover. Danny Harris hits his second 3 of the first half. Quinnipiac rolling into the break. Chase Daniels, after an MCL tear just a mere 6 or 7 weeks ago, feeling real good inside. He had 10 points and 5 rebounds. Giovanni McLean, another 3-ball. Niagara, though, would make a little run. Matt Scott hits a 3-ball, cuts the Quinnipiac lead to 14 there. Niagara ended up getting it down to 10, but Quinnipiac was too much. They lead the nation in offensive rebounding, and they were 12 of 17 from 3, 82-68. Tom Moore's a little happier in this postgame.
The overriding theme for us was like the threes go in like that. You know, it's just you don't feel like you have an anvil. You know, every kid doesn't feel like you run around with like an anvil on their back. You know, and they don't come to timeouts with like that heavy feeling that, you know, geez, I'm battling like crazy down this end, but like, and they're looking at you like with a look like, Coach, what can happen on this end that, you know, and we didn't have that today because they went in. So you just, you know, you hope you get confidence from that individually and team-wise and try to build on it.
A lot of teams can fold and we can just pack it up and say, we give in, but we keep fighting, we believe in each other, and just got to stick with it. Like I said, it's a process, it's a long season, and we're capable of finishing top 5 in the MAC easily.
Tonight, the men's basketball team traveled down I-95 for an in-state matchup, Andrew, against the Fairfield Stags. Quinnipiac, the game just ended moments ago. Quinnipiac with a victory, 64-59. Giovanni McLean led all scorers with 25 points. Solid contributions off the bench. Donovan Smith with 9 points and 10 rebounds. Quinnipiac improves to 7-13 overall and 4-7 in the MAC. And we have more basketball coverage coming up. Men's basketball beat reporter Hannah Cotter will join us in the studio. It's now February, and Tom Moore is known to have his team rolling through this month.
And yeah, Morey, and what would Sports Paws be without top 5 plays? Lots of good stuff still to come. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
This week's trending topic is #that. We are your source for Quinnipiac entertainment news.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Paws.
In the end, we're here to win the championship this year.
Jess Fontaine now has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number one, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is. It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. We're now joined by men's basketball beat reporter Hannah Cotter. Hannah, how you doing?
Good, thanks for having me.
All right, Hannah, so we saw mixed results from this men's basketball this weekend. We're going to start with the Monmouth game. What did you see happen in that game?
Well, this was the first time in 9 years that Monmouth actually beat Quinnipiac at home, and honestly, I think they played pretty well for the circumstances. They cut Monmouth's lead to 2 points early on in the second half after shooting only 8 for 45. And Justin Robinson came in, converted a 3-point play, and followed up with a fast break layup, giving Monmouth a 7-point lead, but Quinnipiac didn't give up. They played great defensively, especially against Justin Robinson, who, as the top scorer in the MAC, usually averages about 20 points per game, but at Quinnipiac, he only averaged 13. They also out-rebounded the Hawks 57-43 with 27 offensive rebounds, but offensively, the team didn't play that hot. You know, Monmouth's momentum was too much for the Bobcats. Monmouth's one of those teams, they're 16-5 overall, 8-2 in the MAC, and it really showed in this game.
And you make a great point. The run that Monmouth had really put Quinnipiac in the backseat. Their experience, though, also was tremendous. Now when we flip the page over to the Niagara game, what did Quinnipiac do differently in this one to get the win and to stop the 5-game losing streak?
Watching Quinnipiac play against Niagara after watching the Monmouth game was like watching 2 totally different teams play. Tom Moore said in the press conference earlier on in Monmouth that he wanted to see more offensively, and Quinnipiac brought that. They had a balanced offensive attack, and they shot 70% from the 3, compared to Niagara's 31%. They had 19 assists and only 5 turnovers. It was a well-deserved 82-68 victory. And a lot of players, I think, stepped up in this game, especially Danny Harris and Giovanni McLean. Early on in the first half, they both had 9 points on a 12-0 run and took an 8-point lead into the break, so I thought that was really good.
All right, Hannah, so again, I said it, mixed results this weekend. Danny Harris, we mentioned, Donovan Smith, Gio McLean. Which players do you think improved the most over the games this weekend?
Danny Harris is always improving, I think, in my opinion. Earlier on, when they first played Monmouth, early in January, he had a career-best 5 3-pointers in the game. In this game against Niagara this past Saturday, he had 6. You know, he's always growing. He's a really good player to watch. Giovanni McLean also surprised me. He's been inconsistent with his points lately. I know he had 14 points against Ryder, only 7 against Monmouth, and he scored 19 against Niagara and went 6 for 9 from the field, 3 for 3 from the 3, which was incredible for me. You know, Abdoulaye Bundu, always a stellar player. He went 4 for 4 from the stripe and 3 for 3 for 3-pointers, 7 rebounds. Aaron Hutton had 5 assists, and Donovan Smith came in clutch after Niagara had a 13-0 run with a jump shot, giving the Bobcats a 6-point lead.
All of those, Hannah, are improved players, but characterize the return of Chase Daniels, both on the court as well as off.
Chase Daniels is one of those players who, like James Ford, is kind of a backbone of the team. He is always there for support, both on and off the court. He's like a veteran figure for them. Even though he's been back for 6 games, I think he really shined in the Niagara game with 12 points and 5 rebounds. He tied the game at 26 late in the first half. He was more confident on his knee, I noticed, in this past game after his injury. And overall, he's just a major asset to the team, and it really showed on Saturday.
Hannah Cotter, always tremendous coverage. We'll see you on Thursday night against Marist.
Thanks.
The women's track and field team competed in the Terrier Invite last Friday. Jessica Lee earned the only top 10 finish for the Bobcats. She placed 3rd in the 60-meter hurdles. And the women's tennis team dropped 2 of 3 matches this past weekend in the UConn Invite. The Bobcats were swept by the Buffalo Bulls 6-0 on the first day. They split the last day of the event, beating Bryant 3-2 and losing to UConn 5-0.
The men's tennis team dropped its first game of this season this past weekend. It fell 4-0 against St. John's. Quinnipiac drops to 4-1 overall and 2-0 in MAC play. It will next face Brown in Providence Friday at 4 o'clock. And the College Sports Madness announced its MAC baseball preseason awards. Junior Thomas Jenkins was tabbed as the preseason pitcher of the year. Outfielder Mike Palladino, the preseason player of the year. The Bobcats open in North Carolina at Appalachian State University February 26th.
After scoring 2 of her team's 3 goals this past weekend, Melissa Samoskevich is Sports Paws Player of the Week. Samoskevich scored the game-winning goal in both of Quinnipiac's wins this weekend and is second on the team with 27 points. Well, Morey, another episode of Sports Paws, another edition of the top 5 plays.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take the honors on this one. We're going to go men's basketball versus Monmouth for the 5th play. Donovan Smith right here is going to say, "Get that out of my house." Deion Jones, rejection.
Looks like I got the next one then. At number 4, we're going to take it to the rink. We're going to go a little men's ice hockey here. Michael Gard take a great initial save, but Dartmouth follows it up to extend their lead, but we all know how that one ended.
Number 3 play. Sydney Rossman right here is going to make a great save on the breakaway. 1 right there, 2 right there. Quinnipiac clears it. They went on to win 2-1.
All right, enough of Dartmouth. Let's get back to Hamden on the hardwood. Jump man, them boys up to a two-handed flush. Donovan Smith, great job for the junior college transfer.
They're up to something just like the men's ice hockey team was in this game, Morey.
Something.
Right here, Sam Annis is going to put one right past Charles Grant right there. Saucy backhander, back of the net. Quinnipiac goes on to win that game 7-5. You see it on the replay right here. That's a sweet goal.
Oh, yeah. And Andrew, we just want to let the audience know this was our first time anchoring Sports Paws. I had a blast.
I had a blast too, Morey. The pleasure is always mine. Another episode in the books. And as we get closer to playoff time, the more exciting the action gets.
Andrew, that's right. That means that our viewers should stick it at our website for exclusive coverage. Regular season champions will also be crowned in just a few weeks.
Q30television.com has your latest men's and women's ice hockey and basketball coverage. We're also on social media at Q30 Sports.
Thanks for spending your time with us tonight. He's Andrew Badillo. I'm Morey Hershgordon. Have a good one.